Hi guys, and welcome back to another Troupers video. You're with Thias here, and we're discussing Lotro's 4th reward track. In this video we're going to look at the reward track and the rewards from it. We're going to look at how much IXP is required to complete it, methods for gaining IXP, and also methods for gaining gold traceries. If you should wish to skip any of the testing of IXP or the collection of the rewards from the reward track, there will be timestamps in the video. Here we have our total list of rewards from the reward track. We have 16 times 200 decorated coffer of ancient script, 8 times 4 times enhancement runes boxes, 6 times 600 embellished coffer of ancient script, 12 times 4 times boxes of enhancement runes rare, 12 times sealed traceries rare, 12 times 3 times boxes of enhancement runes incomparable, 12 times sealed traceries incomparable, 4 times sealed tracery incomparable tokens, 8 times 3 times boxes of enhancement runes legendary, 2 times sealed tracery legendary times 2. We also have the Incomparable Coffer of Craft times 2, Incomparable Coffer of Heraldry times 1. Both of these are utterly useless for Treebeard. We have the 4 times sealed chest of Embers and Figments, so it's in total 4,000 Embers and Figments. We have 1 times Coffer of the Black Steel Key, so that's 600 ancient script and 1 key. We have 1 times legendary Coffer of the Black Steel Key, which is 1 key and 1 legendary tracery token. We have 1 times legendary coffer of the red salamander, so that gives us the pet as well as a gold legendary tracery token. We have 1 times legendary coffer of the warm winter goat kid, which is 1 kid pet and 2,000 ancient scripts, 9 legendary enhancement runes, and 1 legendary tracery token. As you can see, I am testing out the 101 rank rewards on the reward track, and it seems as though that the rewards are very much in line with the previous reward track, in that most commonly you receive ancient scripts, 50s, 200s, and rarely 600s, but also you'll receive traceries, purple and blues, but you can potentially also get golds here as well. And we are also able to receive enhancement runes volunteers as well. A couple of tips for working with your legendary reward track and getting your allies equipped. One thing is that when you start your new legendary reward track, make sure to double check the resources that you have, or the currencies that you have in your barter wallet. If you have any ancient script or any of the figments and so on and so forth, that you are careful about which boxes you open. And also you may just want to store those boxes in shared storage or something like that instead. The other thing is, when you're going for your reward track, the idea behind it is to kit out your characters. So part of that is getting your legendary tracery sorted. You may notice that if you've bought previous expansion packs before, you might actually be given bound tracery barter tokens to your character. Well, they may be bound to your character, but when you convert them into an actual tracery, they're bound to account. So you can actually use those from your alts to gear up your higher level mains. Now finally we're on to my favorite part, which is the testing part, to find out how our XP knowledge actually translates to the reward tracker. In the past, our reward track required a level 45 to have just under 7 million IXP in order for you to complete the track. This time round, we're going to test and see if that still holds true. and if it's even worth saving IXP runes for the reward track. Now, this particular reward track is interesting because in the past, the XP required in order to maximize your reward track derived from your quests and mob kills and so on and so forth was actually pretty brutal for a lot of players, especially those without ults. People would level through entire zones on level at maximum level on their server and not complete the reward track, or not even get a third through the reward track. The SSG made a change in the recent past to the previous reward track halfway through it to enable people to gain a lot more XP for the things that they were doing while they were playing the game. And it made it so incredibly fast that just about everyone that at least I interacted with was able to complete their track, even those who weren't hardcore players. The next thing as well to consider is that if we're not going to use IXP runes, what does that mean? How do we obtain the IXP required? Well, myself and a few others have gone through some tests to see what it's like in order to maximize the reward track. We noticed at the start of the reward track as well, or at least on the release of it, that the scrolls that are supposed to increase your IXP gain by 100% weren't actually working either. So we had one person do 20 missions, or turn in 20 missions, with an XP scroll on, which we know wasn't working, and gain 3.5 levels on the reward track, which is pretty bad. Then we had a group of people, including myself, run Sword Halls Tier 2, do only the trash, which means completing 3 on-level quests, and we got 0.75 levels basically out of it. So, in 3 or so runs, you would get a couple levels. If you spent about an hour in Sword Hall Tier 2, then you would probably get about 20 levels. 1 hour of mission mob grinding, so just going into a mission with mobs that respawn over and over and over again, that got about 6 levels, and so within 5 hours it gained almost 30 levels. The total IXP for a level 45 using IXP runes actually works out to be about 4,126,000 IXP. Now, as we go through this test, we can see that we have 100 levels in the track. What we've discovered is that there is some sort of incremental XP requirement for the difference between levels. However, it works out to be every 20 levels. So from level 1 to 20, okay, each level requires 27,000 IXP. For level 21 to 40, each level requires about 34,500 IXP. For level 41 to level 60, it requires about 40,500 IXP. From level 61 to 80, it requires about 47,000 IXP. And from level 80 to 100, it requires about 54,000 IXP per level. At 101, it requires 66,000 IXP. And then after completing that first level 101, it turns out it needs about 27,500 IXP for every extra or additional 101 level. My personal opinion on the matter is that now, if they're going to remain consistent with their lower XP requirement for completing the reward track, then it's not really worth saving up all the IXP runes. Or rather, it's not really worth going out of your way to collect IXP runes. But if you run dungeons or have barterable tokens or whatever else, and you have IXP runes as a result of that, then you might as well save it. But I wouldn't go out of my way to save any IXP runes for anything other than just making these videos. My conclusion on the reward track itself, I think it's pretty close to being perfect. I think there are probably just a couple of changes, and ultimately they would reflect things like being on giving rewards based on the server that you're on. So for example, we get good and bad crafting recipes on the Treebeard server for whatever reason other than pure laziness. We're going to wait, what, like 4 or more years before we're ever able to actually use those. That seems a bit ridiculous. The other thing is being able to obtain traceries and and enhancement runes, etc., that are able to benefit you at higher levels. That's something that I don't expect to perform very well, but I'm hoping that they do deliver on that. The other thing is that it's, of course, the reward track should be about your legendary items. It's nice that they've given us a couple of cosmetic things here and there, but I'd like to see, honestly, a bit more of the cosmetic sort of things, or even just gear and armor pieces and stuff that drop on the at least on the 101 level stuff. I think that would be rather interesting. And a lot of us are really sort of disappointed with the continuous sort of gold traceries that are worthless on our characters. You know, it costs a couple thousand ancient script to get a tracery when you barter. If you get a tracery that you don't want, you get 80 ancient script for dismantling it or deconstructing it. It would be nice to see some sort of system where, hey, you have a bunch of golds that you don't like because you got them randomly, and you're able to convert them, even if it's a bunch, like 5 or 10 of them, convert them into a specific one that you've chosen. That would be very nice. On top of all that, there are still now, at least on Treebeard, more ways to earn gold traceries, which has not been something that we've had in the past. The new delving system has brought with it a random chance to drop, or a very low chance to drop, gold traceries, including gold tracery tokens. And you might also notice there are deed completions that also give you gold tracery tokens. The other thing is the new skirmish that's been released. If you complete the skirmish as a 6-man or 6-person skirmish, you can run that 3 times within the same week on the same character and get 3 random golds, as well as if you run it as a 12-man. So you can get a guaranteed 6 gold traceries per character per week. 3 from the 6-man skirmish and 3 from the raid version of the same skirmish.